If you want to buy a 3D printer, but you're not sure which one's right for you, let me show you what I personally recommend depending on what you're trying to print. Now, if you want to print simple and practical items like coasters, keychains, cable organizers, cookie cutters, pen holders, or even planters, mainly simple things like that for yourself or maybe around the house, then I personally would recommend either an A1, an A1 Mini, or even a P1P. All of these printers are sub $500, meaning that's going to cost you less than $500 to buy these machines, and you will also get great print quality at reasonable speeds. These three printers are from Bambu Labs, and I personally recommend these as starter machines, especially if you want something simple and sleek and something that's going to work for an everyday home setup. Now, I do want to mention if you want to add a multicolor setup, meaning that you want to print multicolor stuff or prints, then it will cost you a little bit more, but in my personal opinion, I do think it's worth it, especially since you're able to use an AMS, which is a multicolor system, which allows you to print with multiple colors and get even better print quality. Keep in mind, it will increase the cost a bit and will be a little bit over $500 for some of these machines, but I do think it's worth it, especially if you invest the money. Now, moving on to the more premium category. If you're a professional, a business owner, or a pro user, then you're going to want to seriously consider this next list of printers. Now, if you plan to print car parts, parts that sit in the sun, prints that need impact resistance, increased strength, or if you plan to print stuff that needs to withstand extreme heat or temperatures, then you're going to want a 3D printer that's able to print with these materials. For example, X1 Carbon and the H2D are all perfect examples of printers that are able to do that and more. The key difference between these machines and the more inexpensive ones, which is ones we covered earlier, is that those are more so bed slingers and have an open enclosure. This means the build plate moves back and forth and there's nothing to keep the heat or temperature warm or hot when printing. With these printers, they have dedicated cooling systems, internal temperature regulation, filters, and in addition to increased printing temperatures that allow you to use filament to print at much higher temperatures. 3D printers like the X1, X1 Carbon, and H2D all accomplish the same thing, but the key difference is that the X1 and X1 Carbon start as low as $1,000 to $1,200, whereas the H2D starts at around $2,000. For the advanced user setup that doesn't really care about size and just wants something that's able to print with those materials, then you can either consider an X1 or an X1 Carbon. But if you're a pro user and need to use this for work and need a bigger size or bigger build plate, then you should consider the H2D, but keep in mind it is at a much higher cost, but you'll get a better printer that can print exactly whatever you want whenever you want.